For the best water deals in town, your local needs. Fill up your 18.9 liter for the low price of only $2 or your 4 liter for only 50 cents. Pure Aqua Valley water.
John Moore reporting for sportsandmore.com from the 2016 Esso Cup here at the Halifax Forum, joined by Chad Trenholm, the father of Connor Trenholm, who was a member of the Cole Harbour Storm. And Chad, what a story it is. Your son was out of the game for 3 years due to a health situation, and now he's back in the game. Tell us a little bit about the struggle over the last 3 years.
Yeah, so it was 3.5 years ago, September 2013. We were told that Connor should step away from competitive sports just based on a very precautionary approach, but they saw some indicators of potentially a heart condition. So in one sense, it was a pretty easy decision because obviously the health of our son was the most important thing, but obviously very difficult at the same time, having to step away from something that he loved to do, and hockey was a big part of our family. So yeah, it was a tough thing to deal with. To be honest with you, we learned a lot from Connor. Kids are very resilient. We sort of just followed his lead. He was very patient, positive, and mature through the 3 years, and we just found other things to do to feed his competitiveness, family activities, all that type of thing.
Not only loving the game, a passion for the game, but an elite player in his age class. I have to wonder, when you broke the news, how devastated was it?
Yeah, we actually found out at the same time. He was in the room with us. The doctors came in and just laid it right on us. He didn't really know what they were saying at the time and what it meant, so we sort of had to explain it after the fact. I think, from what I recall, initially it wasn't devastation. It was more he had to process it. You know, it was a week later when it really started to sink in that, hey, I'm really not going to play hockey this year, that it was quite devastating.
I'm sure you remember the date well when you got the call to change the course here. Now he's back in the game, loving it. 3.5 years out.
Yeah, it was just under 3 years from the first appointment to when he got the green light. So it was July 14th this year. Went in for his annual checkup, and they were so happy with the results. They said, the doctor actually looked at him and said, "Connor, if I was you, I'd be playing hockey."
It was just awesome to get that news after 3 years, and when we found out the news at first, I was pretty devastated that I couldn't play, and now that I can, it's just getting back to it, and I love it again.
Did you completely given up the idea of ever playing a game again?
Pretty much, yeah. My whole dream, really, of making the NHL was just gone out the window pretty much, and it was just really devastating, and I coped with it by finding new sports like golf, but it was still very upsetting.
So tell me about the day you found out, hey, you are going back. Tell me how you found out and the reaction.
Yeah, well, we just went for the annual checkup, and the doctor actually said that you're all clear, you can go play, and it just felt so good.
When he was diagnosed with the heart problem, I gave him a promise that he would, if he ever came back, I'd give him the number 10 because that's his favorite number too. And ever since he came back, I gave it to him, and I kept that promise for 3 years.
You remember the day when he came into that room, or were you handed the jersey over to him? What do you remember about it?
It was just we were outside doing dry land, and the coaches came around asking if you wanted to keep the same jersey, and I just said I'd give it to Connor.
Yeah, I coached Connor back in, not sure what year it was, but he would have been 8, 9, 10 years old when I had him in spring hockey, and certainly he was one of those players that you see that you kind of look at and go, wow, you know what, this kid's going to be something someday. He's kind of a little bit different than the other boys.
12 seconds left. Can this be one last rush for Pennsylvania now? 8 seconds. They come over the line. Blandowski, walking ready, he dropped it. They score! Unbelievable! They tie it up with 2.5 seconds to go. That was Trenholm. And it's tied up 1, and the board is going absolutely nuts. What a finish. And we're going to see overtime.
I had the good fortune of being involved with Nathan McKinnon back when Nathan was that age, and you know, you looked at Nathan then, you knew this kid was going to be something special back then, and Connor was every bit like Nathan in those days, and not to say he's going to become Nathan later on, certainly, but you know, he had the same attributes, same compete level, and just loved the game, big smile, worked hard, understood the game, and really was a great kid to have involved.
Taking a step at a time here, but you know, what could be in his future?
He's a kid that, you know, I think you'll see him next year after he's got a full year under his belt here at Major Bantam level. I think next year he'll start to come into his own and assert himself like he's capable of, and certainly Major Midget's around the corner for him. And if I was able to put down a few dollars, I'd say if he wants to go NCAA or if he wants to play Major Junior Hockey down the road, I think he's the guy that's going to do it. I wouldn't bet against him at all.
Passion as strong as it was?
Absolutely, probably stronger, because it was 3 years of bottled up intensity, emotion, everything. Yeah, so pretty proud of him to be able to jump back in and make the top level Bantam team as a first year kid, and it's been fun to watch his progression. You mentioned he was a pretty strong player as a 9-year-old, and he's doing well. Week after week we can see improvement, so it's been a lot of fun.